Mike's Daily Podcast.
Well, there's so many downloads of this podcast now. There's like 10. I'm really happy now. Every day somebody downloads it 10 times and it's not me, I swear. Welcome to FF episode 1369, 1369. It's the podcast from Podcaster Valley, Café Anyway, the last place on earth. And the show is called
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I'm Mike Matthews. Hey, today we're going to get to Bison, Bentley, Valentino.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And Madam Rootabega. This is the part of the show where I say, oh my God, I didn't write anything. I don't know about which to sing. And then there is what I did last night. I slept, although it was a fight because it was hot. And my next door neighbor, I think, is out of town because
Mike's Daily Podcast.
They have a son and a daughter. They're twins. And they recently had a birthday.
Mike's
I think they're 16.
Daily
16 or 15.
Podcast.
Maybe.
Yeah!
But somehow, they're at that age. They're in high school. The girl is pretty and she's got a lot of friends and they're all coming over. And last night there was a lot of that sounds that teenagers make during the summer where they're like, woo! Where they're shouting and, bro, jump in the pool, bro. I guess those kind of sounds is what I'm trying to say. Look who walked in.
Hello, my commercials, Madam Rootabega. Where is Vince?
Vince isn't here today.
I enjoy talking to Vince.
Yes, you two seem to have some kind of, I don't know, chemistry or something. I don't know what it was. It's weird what it was. Look who else walked in.
Hello, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
Busted eardrums.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Busted eardrums.
Mike, who is that guy?
Mel Brooks.
Oh, yeah, young Frankenstein. And the girl, the woman, the lady, Cloris Leachman.
Yeah. Frau something flopper plot. I don't have all the Young Frankenstein references at the top of my head or on the bottom of my foot, but whatever. Cafe whatever. I mean,
Anyway.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Cafe
Anyway.
Hey, so back in the day, my grandma lived in Studio City. And I used to go and see her on the weekends back in the 70s. And there was this boulevard called Ventura Boulevard. Go west, down Ventura Boulevard. And all the bad boys are living in the shadows. And the good girls are home with broken hearts. And I'm free! Free falling! Alright, so Ventura Boulevard, I grew up. Basically, we'd go and see a movie there. What's a movie we saw? Grandma and I. Disney movies. Mostly. None spring to mind at the moment, but that movie theater actually turned into a Borders Books and Music. I don't know what it is now. I haven't been back to Ventura Boulevard in a couple years now. This picture is, I think, from 2012. And it's looking out from, there's this restaurant called Good Earth. There used to be a couple Good Earth restaurants. It was sort of a franchise around California, and what it would do is, now they just make tea and you can buy their tea in the store, but you would go in, and if you wanted the complete vegetarian experience, you could get it at this place. Very nice waterfalls in there, but almost has not a Denny's feel, but something akin to that. And I remember the one on Ventura Boulevard seeing one of the people from the Gilmore Girls. The guy that played Lorelai's boyfriend that she had Rory with. And that guy, he's really rich in the show. He was there, as was the brother of My Name is Earl, Jason Lee's brother, on that show. 2 shows that my ex-wife and I watched, all of them. We watched every single episode. In fact, there was one other show we watched every single episode of, and that would be Seinfeld. But that was fun we would go there, my ex-wife and I. Good Earth wasn't there back when my grandma was alive, but or maybe it was, but we never went there. But my ex-wife and I would go to Good Earth. I'd get this fantastic, what was this thing? It was like a stir fry, and it was so good. And I would get this salad beforehand that had everything on it. It was delicious. I loved that place. And then get their fantastic iced tea. So right across the street from this restaurant is this view that you see at Mike'sDailyPodcast.com at the podcast picture. And you can see all the past podcast pictures at Mike'sDailyPodcast.com, and help us out through the Amazon link. Click on that, buy whatever it is you're going to buy. That helps us out. Amazon, they aren't buying Whole Foods. I don't know. They were interested. I thought they were buying it. Now I don't know. And now maybe they're buying Blue Apron too. Whatever. Cafe, whatever. The fact is that they're...
Anyway...
There are a lot of people buying stuff on Amazon, and you can too through my website, and it helps out the show. Look for the logo for those Amazonians. And then there's also the PayPal. You can help us out that way and donate and become an Inglorious Mike's Daily Podcaster. Hey, I would like to apologize to all of you millennials that wanted to come out to the Mike excursion, the Millennial Mike excursion that was supposed to happen on Friday. I got a call from Nick and Stephanie, who I mentioned on the last show. They told me, hey, we can't make it to 6 o'clock. Can we move it to 6:30? It's too hot. We'll go when it's a little bit cooler on our walk. And I said, sure. So I did not make it to Fairmont Ridge till 6:30. So if you were waiting for me at 6 o'clock, many, many apologies. However, I get the feeling nobody showed up. What? Huh? Yeah, I have a feeling. So that's whatever. Cafe, whatever. I think we might try another Mike excursion soon. But I don't know where. Whatever it is, it'll be free and it'll be fun. And it'll probably involve my wonderful dog, Basil the Boxer. If you have a suggestion for a Millennial Mike excursion, you can call me at 336-MM-DAILY. That's 336-MM-DAILY. Leave a message. Leave a message after the tone. Believe it or not, George isn't at home. So now we get to this wonderful segment called the MIKELOPEDIA INSANICA. And I feel as if I have left something hanging. Oh, hey, this is one thing. I keep running into this guy named Bob. No, not Shelley Shoehart's boyfriend, Bob. But this guy, Bob, who walks around Coal Canyon Lake. Well, it used to be Coal Canyon Lake. Now it's Coal Canyon Creek, Coal Canyon Park in Podcaster Valley. I run into Bob. Basil's always so happy to see him. In fact, yesterday, Basil also was very happy to see some deer on the trail and tried to chase after him. And I tried to take a picture of Basil trying to chase after him, but Basil practically ripped my hand off. There was a bunch of deer just standing there. But Bob and I were discussing the fact that I'm having a difficult time getting this trip to Florida booked. I gotta see my mom in Florida. It's been a long time. It's been 2 years, and I need to go and see her, and I just can't find... There's always some little moving part that will not cooperate. It's either I can't find someone to watch Basil, and to walk him and feed him is what I need someone to do. And I also need to get a plane ticket that A, isn't freaking expensive, overly expensive. They're going to be expensive no matter what, but and And a plane that won't leave at frickin' 6 a.m. in the morning from San Francisco. I'm sorry, I cannot get out there by 6 on BART from Podcaster Valley. It ain't gonna happen. So it's got to leave like in the afternoon, and it's got to return back to California after my trip to Daytona Beach to see my mom. It's got to come back to California way before 11 o'clock at night, because the last BART leaves like at 11:15 from San Francisco Airport. So I'm working all this out. Should I leave out of Oakland instead? If I leave out of Oakland, that means I'll only be able to fly into Orlando. Orlando is an hour from my mom, and that means I have to get on a shuttle bus because my mom can't come down and pick me up. So there's all these moving parts, and it's just crazy frustrating. And sometimes I just want to throw in the whole towel and say, I'll wait till a time where things move together in a cohesive way. But Bob said, no, you should see your mom. You don't know how long she's going to be around. And he said that he regretted not going to Florida to see his parents. Everybody's got parents in Florida, apparently. And Bob waited 7 years before going to see his parents in Florida. But they were having some kind of argument. And he regretted it. He said, after that 7-year hiatus, or whatever you want to call it, he said he went back there every single year, and he regretted that 7 years. So I'm probably going to regret the 2 years, and I got to get on it. But it's just crazy, because yesterday I spent about an hour I found some tickets that were perfect, that fit my needs, but then all of a sudden I realized that the layover in Atlanta, I only had about 30 minutes to get to my plane, and with the way planes are delayed constantly, I said if I only have 30 minutes, I'm going to miss that connecting flight. So whatever. Your thoughts, you can email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com, or call 336-MM-DAILY and leave a message, because George is not at home. Let's get to the segment.
The MIKELOPEDIA INSANICA.
Awesome.
All right.
So, I would like to begin with this crazy thing that if you're having trouble making calls, if you're trying to call me and you can't do it, or connecting to the internet on your cell phone and you can't hear the show. So why I just said that sentence, I don't know, because you didn't hear it. But apparently, CBS's Tucson affiliate told majors, somebody told somebody something. And what it is this: major cell phone providers, including Verizon, Sprint, AT&T, and T-Mobile, are having service issues yesterday. The Spectrum customers were having difficulty. Oh, I thought this was a national thing. This looks like it was just a freaking... Why is this a national... All right, now to something more important. This whole London attack. The imam of a London mosque told reporters yesterday that he helped prevent a mob from assaulting the suspect in an alleged terrorist attack that left 10 Muslim worshippers injured. Some would say, why? Why did he prevent the mob from killing this guy for trying to kill? Well, there's this little thing called the justice system and justice. And are we going to become a world where Sylvester Stallone is carrying a gun and just killing people left and right because he's the judge and jury? I don't know. But Mohammed Mahmoud of the Muslim Welfare House said the group gathered around a man later identified by British media as 47-year-old Darren Osborne after he careened into a crowd of people who had just finished Ramadan prayers. The apparent attack, which London Mayor Sadiq Khan called a horrific act of terrorism, occurred around midnight. Some of them tried to hit him, either kick him or punch him, Mahmoud said. But by God's grace, we managed to surround him and protect him from any harm. We stopped all forms of attack and abuse towards him that were coming from every angle. This guy, though, Osborne, crashed his van. Then he bit and laughed at and spit on bystanders who were trying to get him out of the vehicle. Just not a pleasant person at all. And witness Khalid Amin told the BBC that he heard him shout, "Kill all Muslims." People were very angry, one witness, Saeed Hazm, told NBC News. They were smashing bottles. They wanted to hit him. As people tended to the injured and tried to calm the cascading tension, a police van drove by. We told them the situation, that there was a man. He's restrained. He mowed down a group of people with his van, and there's a mob attempting to hurt him. Mahmoud said, "If you don't take him," he recalled saying, "God forbid he might be seriously hurt." He was taken into custody. Last Man Standing, the last conservative television show on television, the last show that Jesus would approve of, because it stars Tim Allen, who did a ton of coke. The canceled ABC comedy starring Tim will not be revived at the Viacom-owned cable network, which already airs the show in syndicated repeats. It will not rise again. Talks between CMT and producers 20th Century Fox Television have broken down, and the former ABC comedy starring Tim Allen will not be revived. It's unclear if another potential home for the series will emerge. CMT and 20th TV declined comment. White House. The White House is considering shifting Press Secretary Sean Spicer away from the Daily Spokesman job and into a new communications role, but no such move is believed imminent. Spicer has been a frequent target of criticism for his fantastic performance as, damn it, I can't think of her name. That woman. That funny woman. That I can't think of her name. That's crazy. She has been a frequent target of criticism for his performance at the White House lectern during a daily news briefing, although President Donald Trump has stood by him through a variety of controversies. You know, he was also the Republican National Committee senior strategist during the presidential campaign last year. He's also doing double duty as press secretary and communications director, after the previous communications director, Michael Dubke, resigned May 30th. And finally, a model, who they call a plus-size model, her name is Diana Veras. She posted to Twitter some photos of herself in a bikini, and she looks lovely. She got a reply from someone that said, "You're fat," and that person should, well, there's some sort of means of torture I would put on that person for saying that. And the FLMA she replied, along with a pretty appropriate GIF. And then she showed more pictures of herself, and she said, "This is more pictures of me in a bathing suit since it offends men so much." Not only that, she tweeted even more photos writing what I just said. And she's posted her clap back on Twitter. It has received over 24,000 likes and over 16,000 retweets at the time of writing. And I have to say, a checkered bikini, or whatever you call it, it kind of looks like a tablecloth that you would have for a picnic. That kind of a bikini. And she looks great. I don't know why. The fat shaming thing is ridiculous. And they're idiots. So the next show, as we go outside a Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley, is going to feature Shelley Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the Engineer. It will be akin to a show where we look at things happening in the world and try and dissect them. It will be akin to happiness.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!
Akin.